Or did you guys do that together?
It's just back in our era.
Long time.
Helmets were not included.
Which could explain a lot.
Yeah.
We won't go there.
I'm better than others.
That's good. No. Yeah, I'm really. Rather than thinking about new age for me.
Hi, Jordan. Come on in. I'm Cynthia. Nice to meet you. I don't normally look like this, by the way. I had an accident. Thanks for coming in. You'll be one of the first ones up. Yay. Okay. I don't know if people are coming in.
All right, everybody. We'll call the meeting to order. And I would ask Stacy if you mind leading us in the pledge and a prayer, please, sir.
Most gracious Heavenly Father, we just come to you today, Lord, just asking for your guidance again over this meeting. Dear Lord, just be with these men tonight and help them to make decisions, Lord. We thank you for them. Lord, we just thank you for this community, Lord, and all the things that are happening in it. Lord, we just ask you to guide us through this and through the holiday season. Bring families together, Lord, and let them come to you. Lord, we just thank you for the light rain shower that you've got going out there, and just keep it coming, Lord. Be with us now, and we ask all this in your most holy and precious name. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Stacy.
I can just magically shut up.
Okay. Open forum, did anybody sign up?
I do have a speaker for the open forum today, Mayor, Ms. Jean Hayworth. Are you here?
Jean, you got a couple of minutes, girl.
Lord,
But it doesn't take me long. I have two complaints. First one is that when you people did the meters, I don't know what kind of fiasco that was in front of my house, but they left everything laying the first day. Didn't knock on my door and tell me I wasn't having any water that day, but then left everything laying because they didn't fix it. And I had to call the city the next morning. They came out and they did finally all day work on it and finally got it operating. So what I want to know, and I paid my bill yesterday, was, am I going to get prorated for the 2 days that I didn't have any water? Or is that just my problem? I didn't get any answer on that before. Second thing is that I've had a ditch or hole behind my house in the alley for 9 months. 9 months. It's been sitting there, pile of dirt here, hole there, here's my property back. I have a bunch of stuff I need to haul off the trash. I can't get in there with a pickup and get it done. You did send the backhoe out there today. I did see the backhoe, but it's sitting there. I don't know if it's receiving or what, or whether they're gonna do something, or is it progress in progress or whatever, but anyhow, I just would like that hole finished up or whatever they're gonna do. They said the part was in, whatever it was that they were gonna have to fix there, but that hole has been in for 9 months. So that's my two. I'm done.
Thank you, Jean. We'll have them look into it, both of them. But thank you so much. All right, this special presentation announcements, proclamations, presentation awards, and other acknowledgements of significant accomplishments or service to the community. We'll do the presentation number 2 then. We got 2 of our city officers. They'll both come on up here if you would like, please. Got Noah and Scott. Everybody knows them. They've been around here for a long time. Each of them have 15 years. Noah, that's your award. Thanks, sir. Well, you're more than welcome. Thank you. Do it for 15 more, we'll give you another one. Let me get a picture of it.
Stand there and let him. You'll get the image. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Go back to one presentation, Will Thompson from the Stevens County Appraisal District about fixed community and the project. So we'll let you have you explain all that, please.
I'll try. Came to our attention, it's about 6 months ago. As we started looking at reappraisal this year, that we're missing a lot of property out in the county. And in the last 18 months to 2 years, that's just exploded. And people buying small tracts, 5 to 10 acres, putting barndominiums on them or houses on them. They're built over a hill, they're built behind a locked gate. We do not have permission, I'll clarify that, to go on property. Like we don't have not like police officers, we don't have the right to be there. You know, we have to ask permission. So if they don't let us in those locked gates, we don't know what's behind them a lot of times. So as we got to examine that more and more, we're finding more and more of that. The pictometry we use right now, pictometry we use right now is this lower level one. Used to be kind of fuzzy. It's not even that good. It's a straight down shot. So that one, you can see there's an angle there. What we have is using off Google or called TNRS, TRNRSS. It's a straight down shot. So we can measure a roof line, but sometimes you're looking at that roof line and you don't know whether you've got a house or a barn. You don't really know what you're looking at. So this pictometry that we're looking at going to, the 6-inch, the top picture, not only can we tell if we're dealing with a house or a barn or what we've got there, I can actually measure the height and get within 3 inches of that structure. I can measure depth, and all, I can get a full measurement of that. I can also look at that house and tell how much architecture is there, so how to classify it properly. It tells me a lot more than what I've got currently. Flying that to get the company, they're called Eagle View, to fly the county. It's not cheap. We have not flown the county since 2009. Part of what Eagle View does is they'll go back to our current parcels and their previous flight, and they'll give us a list of everything that's new that we don't have currently on our list. And we can go out and identify it and get it on the roll quickly. It looks expensive on paper. It's the way they do it. They fly in year 1 and they fly in year 4. And you pay for it in year 1, 2, and 3, and then 4, 5, and 6. And it's about split between the entities. The total cost of it's about $43,000 a year. That's each entity has their portion prorated just like y'all now. So it'll feed into our budget eventually. There's that. Yeah, thank you. So y'all's portion, City of Breckenridge, is about $6,900 a year is what it would be to cost to do this. If we pick up 2 million in square footage, $2 million in value paid for the project for the 3 years. So it's not, it looks expensive on paper, but when you take it back to tax value and what it does, it's not very expensive. Because we're behind the curve, I want to get this done this year, if possible, in our next tax roll before April. They can fly it in January if I sign the contract and pay. So what we're presenting to you guys is, I've got some surplus funds, we'll pay it out of surplus. And then next year we'll ask for a line item of reimbursement and then a line item of the 2024 tax year going forward. So we would front the money out of the CAD. I don't have a lot of surplus, but I've got a little bit there to try to make it work. I think we'll pick up a lot. I mean, especially county, which isn't going to help you guys a whole lot. Now on the city side, y'all were already looking at flying. Erica had actually put it in the budget. I don't know where that stands, but if we took it, if y'all used it somewhere else or what, when we started talking about this with Cynthia. But we wouldn't ask for that this year, but she was looking at flying because y'all do overlays too, or like all shape valves on all your pipelines, on all your cutoff valves, and y'all help me out, y'all use it a bunch. Property lines, we can throw zoning on there, so it'll help us in more ways than just value for the rolls. It's gonna help us a lot in our mapping.
We use it every day.
My current shape file, if you go out there and look now, like Malcolm and I talk from time to time, because he'll have an issue with the property and the boundary that's on my shape file right now runs right down the center of the house. And he's like, is it this guy's property or this guy's property? And we have to go look back and clarify. So going with the new pictometry and helping with those shape files, we can move that stuff around and get a better map than we currently have, I hope. So anyway, y'all got questions on the pictometry or thoughts on it?
Like on those houses, you see, can you differentiate if that's just dormers, or can you see in the windows actually see if that's a second story?
I wouldn't be able to get that close,
Oh.
but so there you're getting into technique.
Oh,
We call it a two-story, whether it is or not. What that does is if it's not a two-story, that person's in my office 2 days later. No, it's not a two-story. Yeah, it gets them out from behind that locked gate and gets them to talking to me.
It's communication.
It's communication.
See, I was kind of thinking that way, if you weren't sure about some of this, just send them a big tax bill.
Well,
You'll get there.
there's that theory out there, technique too, but it hurts you a little bit because, if you throw that out there on the front end, when we do notices before we go into protest, it can really decrease your certified rates and then hurt you on the backside a little bit. So we try to be as close as we can, no matter how we get the numbers. But I have found a couple of barns in the county already this year that were really very nice barn dominiums in the county. We've added, one of my employees over there went just on Google Earth and just went abstract by abstract in the county department, all by hand, very time consuming process. But we've added about 7 or 8 structures just in the very northern abstracts that we didn't have on our roll that had been there 5 or 6 years. There was a statement made in the wind turbine hearings about our county's kind of known for not finding structures in the county, and that irritated me. So, this would really help me out finding those if we can get done. So. Any other questions? Thought?
I'm good.
All right.
Thank you
guys.
guys. Thank you so much. Okay. There'll be no action taken on this. Go to the staff report or for discussion only. No action may be taken on items listed under this portion of the agenda, other than to provide general direction to staff or to direct staff to place such items on the future agenda for action. And I'll say this, I'm glad to see our city manager here. I told her that she should have taken the night off what she's been through the last couple of days, but Cynthia, we'll let you have it, girl.
All right, thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Well, you can see in your backup information, I'm just gonna go over some of the upcoming important dates that we have, and we do have the Christmas parade coming up December 10th, and that is at 6 p.m. On December 10th as well. There's cookies and cocoa, and that will be prior to that, to the Christmas parade. December 20th is staff Christmas celebration. And then, of course, December 23rd and the 26th, City Hall will be closed for the Christmas holiday. And then also January 2nd for the New Year's holiday. So those are some of the things. There may be more that we've missed, so keep your eye open. We always appreciate the media and what you all run out there and all the events that are coming up with Christmas as well. On city business, I did want to introduce, Jordan is here from TxDOT, and we've been keeping you updated a little bit on 183, and he's here to provide an update for that. And so we appreciate you being here and know that sometimes things happen with contractors, but if you could give us an update on what's going on with 183, we'd appreciate it.
Sure. And thank y'all for having me. It's not much of an update, but I did want to come in person and kind of let y'all know where we stand. Last time I was here, we was kind of in the discussion of having a default contractor. That was an option. Ended up being 97% of time used and 25% of the work done. We met with them and we really weren't getting anywhere. So we contacted, the DE and basically made the decision that it's time to default them. So right now, we've had several meetings with the bonding company. And I can go into a little bit of detail that once you default a contractor, the bonding company is kind of the insurance company for the prime contractor. And whenever they're defaulted, then the bonding company steps in as the prime contractor. Now, we have not signed a takeover agreement yet. So right now, TxDOT is maintaining everything, project limits that the prime contractor had. So at any point in time right now, during this time, if you have any complaints, concerns, anything of that sort, please reach out to the Stevens Maintenance section or the Eastland area office. We'll get those addressed. I think there has already been some complaints, and it was unfinished work. Hey, I've got a driveway that was going to be poured, and it wasn't poured. The rebar's there. I can't get in my driveway. So that same day, we came in with material, placed the material, and they were able to use it. Thanked us for what we did, and I think the barrels and cones, everything is being maintained fairly well. We're checking it every single day. Just to be honest, I do not see anything happening as far as having a new contractor on board and starting within the next 2 months. So I will say that in the past 2 weeks, we have gotten contact from the bonding company stating that they've reached out to other contractors, and the other contractors that they have reached out, prospective prime contractors, they don't have it yet, but there is potential, and the ones that we've seen are better qualified and have done TxDOT a better job in the past. I would say that. So that's really all I can say at this point.
Go ahead, all that.
I was just wrapping up.
Okay, I hear plenty of complaints, and it's just basically, when will it be finished? They haven't been up there and worked it. That's just the general deal. But this, what you're telling us now, gives me something to tell them this, if we get any more. If they were to start, January the 1st working, what length of time would it be? Could you give me any idea on completion?
I can give you an idea. I can say that originally it was scheduled for February. Last time I was here, we were thinking they were at least 4 months behind that schedule, which was somewhere around July, I think. And now, that amount of time we've been put off. So I would probably say it would at least take a year, if not a little longer.
I'm sorry, take
a year,
okay.
if not a little longer. Because they have to continue paving this entire side, finish curb and gutter. Now, and they may not. They may throw 3 crews on the job and it may take 8 months.
Yeah.
But the way I've seen it work, not always, but majority of the time, they come in, they'll knock it out as best as they can, but normally they don't.
Most of these contractors, if they're not here, they may be somewhere else, moving around. Or would they be right here on this till it's completed?
I would say for this project, they would have at least 1 crew concrete wise, because that's kind of the control of the job, and that was what was holding it up. So they would have at least 1 concrete crew from start to finish, and then paving as it takes place.
Yeah.
I would say they would have 1 start to finish because of the bonding company being in place, because they're now liable. They're gonna be.
Right. Well, as you know, we're going into our battle, and nothing against you or whatever, just I know the way, what it works. But we're going into our 3rd year trying to get something done. Just, it's, people. But anyway, I appreciate the information for that, because I'll have something to tell them, that they'll know a little bit,
And I mean, if it comes down to it, if I need to meet every other month, give you status update, even every month until we get this thing started, I can do that.
Yes, sir.
And give you, sometimes it may not be much of a status update, but I know we are making progress. We've already had 3 meetings, and I know we're going to push it because essentially they're in LDs from the start. And that's money back towards the state,
Right.
and I would think that they would be wanting to put more than one crew on the job, but I can't guarantee that. And until we have something in writing and have a plan, or until we have the signed agreement, until we have a contractor on board, then I can know more. I know that, let's say, the prospect contractors, they would be more likely to put more than one crew. If any,
Right.
if any contractors, they would be the ones that would say, okay, let's get this job done faster and get this thing done. So, but if it was one crew, it would take over a year.
Well, like I said, I understand you're just making a guess on that.
That is,
Too much to open, don't know anything yet.
yes, sir.
But that gives us, people we hear from, complaints and want to know something about it, give them something to look at on it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And it wouldn't be bad, maybe every couple of months or so, if you want to, we, just, kind of keep in touch with Cynthia.
Sure.
Anything that we think we need to know, and then there are the city needs to know about the citizens. So, yeah, we could do that too. Yeah, I appreciate you being here. Anything else you want to add to it, or?
That's where we're at. That's about all I can
Yes, sir.
say at this point.
Yes, sir.
I hope to have, more each meeting, and Cynthia, please reach out to me if I need to be at the next meeting. I'll be here.
I will.
All right.
Thank you.
Just
so
to
much.
keep us on front of our-
Questions, anybody? Nothing?
Thank you.
Thank
Better
you.
get that door running.
I'm trying.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Very, very much. Okay. Again, that's no action taken on that.
So
Is that all you have on the city?
No, I have a couple more.
Okay.
So, on we've got some project updates from our engineer on several projects. One is the AMI, the automatic meter project. He's gonna give an update on, the bond projects, clean water, drinking and the drinking water, and then 3099. So Sage Diller is here from EHT, and he's gonna kind of give you guys the breakdown on the status on those projects.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Good to see everyone. For the record, I am Sage Diller with EHT. I think you may have copies of this memo kind of outlining this. Do you have that?
I'm going to
No.
give it to him, but no,
Oh,
I
okay.
got
All
that.
right. I'll run through these projects. Prison lift station, it's ongoing. We are facing some supplier delays on equipment for the pumps and control panel check valves. You'll see later on the agenda, we do have a change order to add a little bit more additional time to that. We're trying to push the contractor as fast as we can. He just is having trouble getting material. So we can cover a little bit more of that in the agenda item. The Breckenridge meter replacement project. I'm sorry to hear that you've had some issues. Contractor is almost complete. They anticipate that they'll be done first part of February. Currently, they're 90+% complete on the smaller residential meters. They're still waiting on some of the larger meters. There will be next month, there will be a change order coming through to rectify some of the quantities. So we've gone over on some and under on some of the line items, so we need to get the contract kind of squared away. So that'll be coming to you next month. And then the customer portal rollout, I think that's near completion. It should be coming out in the next few weeks, I believe.
Well, it might be a little bit longer than that, but yes, we're working. We've got to work between them, EHT, Secure Vision and Choller, to roll that out. And what that is an application that you'll be able to use to be able to determine how much water you're actually using. So if you have a leak, you'll be able to see that, as will we be able to see that. So we're hoping to get that rolled out, but we've got some of the backup stuff.
And I know some of these projects are a little painful for the customers, but overall, the ones we've been involved with, the cities have been happy with at the very end. You're actually accurately metering the water that you're selling now. So it's a good upgrade to the system. And so hopefully everybody will be pleased with it once it's done. So I apologize again for your inconvenience.
Well, I got a test run in my household last night. We got our water bill and I was questioned within my house why our bill went up $25. And I had no answers. I was like, I think you left the faucet up. No.
That went well, I'm sure.
She was like, well, is it because of the new meters? I was like, honey, I don't know.
So I will say that these systems have been very good at finding small leaks, running toilets and stuff like that.
Yes.
And now that information is in the system and it can be sorted and ranked, and they can see some of these leaks when it's out of the normal trend, and you can be notified. There's a lot of good benefits to the system. So
Yes, that's what I've just had some of the cities that have had that installed. I've kind of discussed and just kind of asked around, and they were just talking about the thing that they were impressed with the most was, you know, everything was the accuracy of the usage and being able to find if there's any mistakes or corrections that they need to make, like you just said, like, you know, running toilets or, you know, excess usage. They were able to kind of rectify that. So yes, it's a good thing.
it is.
So along that line, I mean, the water loss, some of the water loss that we're experiencing, we'll be able to pinpoint more of that. That will help
Because
with
we're
that.
what, been at 25 or 26%.
I mean, that's the figure I'm hearing, and I need to get an update on that, but yes. Now, some may go up, but some may go down. I mean, it may go both ways, but it will be more accurate. That's the big thing, and it
Well,
will
we're
give.
paying attention to what we're doing. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Yes, everything's getting a little tighter.
Okay, moving on, the Water Development Board projects, the two of them, there's one on the water side and one on the wastewater side. So we're currently in the planning phases for both of those. We're working on the preliminary engineering feasibility reports for both of them. And also working on the environmental reports. We anticipate those both going in this month to the Water Development Board. They have to review it and approve it. Usually not much gets done down in at their office in the last couple of weeks of December, but hopefully sometime in January, we'll get some comments back and hopefully some approvals, and then we'll move into the design stages for those two projects. 3099, we are on a kind of an expedited schedule for TxDOT on that. We are trying to have everything completed design-wise this month so that we possibly can advertise it in January with the potential for construction starting in February is the intent. We, haven't had the project that long, and so we're really having to work quickly and get these plans out the door. We had a contractor out there the other day potholing some of the information that we had got from TxDOT. Just we wanted to verify it, tie it down. So that'll be coming before you guys, final plans, and hopefully we're going out for advertisement in January, February. The payment
You
evaluation.
want to just give them a reminder of what that project is. Basically, TxDOT is straightening out that curve, and we're responsible to relocate the lines out there.
That's correct, right? The utilities, water and wastewater, they're at that intersection. We're just gonna be replacing some of them, encasing a couple of crossings and trying to get any of the utilities that are out in the roadway, out of the roadway, or encased in steel encasement underneath TxDOT's new road realignment. Pavement evaluations, we are working on that with the intent. We've been working with Cynthia on kind of scheduling. Our intent is to come to the commission with this report that ranks the streets and kind of a ranking of projects. I know the city's going to have some funds coming up for some pavement projects. So the intent is to have an evaluation done so that these streets are ranked and prioritized with the intent of then going into design of these street improvement projects in time for the paving season coming up next year in May timeframe. So we'll be having coming back in the upcoming commission meetings for updates on that as well. That's all I have. Any questions? Thank you all.
Thanks, Sage.
And Mayor, there's one more update I'd like to give you all, and that, as you know, we've been, doing the chlorine burn, project. And so that is a process that happens. It started in, November, 28th, I believe, and it's a month long, December 28th. So what that is basically cleaning out our lines of organic material by using all chlorine through those lines. So we have confirmed that we've got the chlorine all the way through our system, through our lines, our tanks, and all of that. And so now we'll be kind of hanging out in that phase, and then we'll do the reverse part of that towards the end. So we're on track there and everything's going well. I don't know if you guys have noticed any, we haven't gotten a whole lot of, because some of the things that people will notice, we have gotten, people saying, hey, we've got water leaks, and it's really people, the public works flushing the lines, because that's a big part of it. You have to flush the lines to drive that chlorine through it. But also you might see dirty water coming out of the taps. I don't think we've gotten a lot of calls on that, but throughout the whole process, I just want to emphasize that the water is safe to drink. Public Works has been doing a great job on that. Scott at the water treatment plant, and of course, Public Works flushing the lines, and we've been working with EAP on that project. So, and of course, TCEQ is aware of that project.
I like to give Tony and them, the Breckenridge Texan, a good write-up that they had about that. So if people read it, they knew what to expect.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
I have not had any calls about the water at all, so
Just want to give you guys an update on that,
that's good.
and that's it from me right now.
All right. Our police chief is not here tonight, so we.
Actually,
We do have,
I'm gonna stand in for him.
Oh, okay, all right. Scott.
Lucky me, huh?
Lucky you.
I answered the phone. I'm gonna read this, my voice is kind of bad, so just bear with me. Police department is required as a law enforcement agency to notify the public and civilian governing body that the department participates in LISO, law enforcement support office programs. As a participant in the program, we can acquire items through signed addendum between the police department and LISO programs. Some of these items are listed as controlled property. A list of the type of property that may be requested and acquired is as follows: weapons, weapon modification kits, training weapons, aircraft parts, armored vehicles, vehicle parts, weapon mounted optics, lasers, handheld optics and lasers, optical sighting equipment, tactical cargo vehicles, purpose-built handheld breaching equipment, decontamination equipment, computers, camouflage, deception equipment, radio and telephone equipment, generators, lighting and observation towers, right gears. There's a whole list of stuff here. Right now, Chief said that he is not asking for any of these deals. We just have to notify y'all that we are a part of the program.
Thank you, Scott.
Also,
Any questions? Yeah, no.
at the beginning of the school year, I did send y'all a memo about a drug awareness class that I was doing in junior high. It's been going really well. I've just taken a few of the kids' lessons that they've done, just to show y'all that it's going, it's ongoing. Fixing to finish up my first semester. after the holidays, the second semester will start, which I'll have a whole new set of kids. So, as long as parents are willing to let their child be involved in it, by the end of the school year, every sixth grader will went through my program, so it's going really well. Chief Control wanted me to let y'all know how it was going, and we're halfway through it. Everything's going well, and also this year, we're doing Shattered Dreams again. It'll happen somewhere around the end of the school year, where that is, where you do a mock crash. Where ambulance comes, persons come, you know, we do a mock crash where there's children that die, you know, children that go to the hospital, and one's arrested for EWI. So we're gonna try to get that, well, we've already got that on board for the future. Just a little update about our schools and about what we're doing for the children. All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Our consent agenda. Any commission member may request an item of the consent agenda be taken up for individual consideration. Item 7, consider approval of November 1st, 2022 regular commission meeting minutes as recorded.
Commissioners, the meeting minutes, you should have those in your packet that you can look over, to review through those. If everything is good.
Have a motion on that?
I move that we approve the consent agenda items as presented.
A second.
Motion is second, all in favor? None opposed? All right, thank you, guys. Right, now we're gonna skip item 8. Item 9, public hearing on ordinance to City of Breckenridge amending chapter 18 subdivision of the Breckenridge Code of Ordinance by adding section 18-18, replatting, and section 18-19, amending plats, adopting regulations regarding replatting and amending plats of land within the city. This is for public comment on, no commission discussion on this action. Nothing on that. We're gonna,
There's no, I'm sorry, there's no speakers.
Ma'am,
No one signed up to
There
speak
were no
on this.
speakers for the public hearing.
we're gonna skip item 10. And we couldn't do this because the planning and zoning meeting was canceled. Item 11, discuss any necessary action recording ordinance 22-19, the city of Breckenridge, amending chapter 18 subdivisions of the Breckenridge Code of Ordinance by adding section 18-18, replatting, and section 18-19, amending plats, adopting regulations regarding replatting and amending plats of land within the city.
So Mayor, what this is, we, in our code of ordinances, we don't have a specific process for addressing amended plats and replatting. And so when that happens, then we refer directly to the local government code. But what this does, it will give us specific regulations for replatting and instructions for anybody looking. And of course, we've had a few lately, so that they'll know exactly what they need to do. So all it is inserting those into the ordinance where you have preliminary plats, and our final plat will also be adding the replatting and amending plats and what that process is to do so. So the attorney has looked at this, I've looked at this, I've worked with the permitting department, and just waiting your action on it. If there's any questions.
Questions on that? No questions? Have a motion?
I move to approve ordinance 22-19 of the city of Breckenridge, amending chapter 18 subdivisions of the Breckenridge Code of Ordinances by adding section 18-18, replatting, and section 18-19, amending plats, adopting regulations regarding replatting and amending plats of land within the city.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? None opposed, all right. Item 12, discussion and any necessary action regarding construction contract change order number 1 for the Pleasantville Station project.
So you heard a little bit of an update from Sage. So essentially what happened is there was a part that was spec'd out in the contract. And this part is not going to be accessible to get for delivery because of supply chain issues until February. So what they've done is they've gone back to find a comparable part to take that place. And there is no change in the contract price. There is obviously a change, excuse me, in the contact time. So the time, it was actually supposed to be done by November. So now that we've got the part, they can get that done in what was originally contracted, but of course, the starting date's gonna change. So the change order basically just changes the date that it will be completed.
Questions to the guys? Everybody have a motion on that?
I move to approve construction contract change order number 1 for the prison lift station project.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? None opposed? Thank you. Item 13, discussion and any necessary action regarding resolution supporting legislation allowing WCTM WD board members to live outside the city limits of the respective city membership.
So Mayor and Commissioners, essentially what this does, the West Central Texas Municipal Water District Board voted to approve this change. And what they're doing is they're going to the state legislatures to ask for this change. And they're asking the cities to support the action by resolution. We do have one of the members here, if you wanted to hear from him. And I believe we're kind of going low key, but we are live streaming. It's kind of a test run, and we'll be recording. But I do believe Mr. Chris Wingard is actually watching tonight as well. But if you have any questions, I've put that information in your background material there if you have any questions.
Kind of a no-brainer. I mean, it's pretty much a no-brainer. I mean, it opens up your pool of potential people.
I talked to Chris Winger this afternoon, and he indicated that Abilene approved this same resolution or supported this same resolution December the 1st. Albany is on schedule to do theirs next Thursday. I'm sorry, next Tuesday, a week from today. Not sure what he told me. It didn't stick with me on what Anson's doing, but he expects all four. He's hoping all four cities will approve the resolution.
Be on board with it.
We're not expecting any issues when we get to the legislature. It'll be considered a local bill, and we think it'll just flow right through. And then it gives each city then the option, not the requirement, but the option to use this in their tool bag of filling the appointments with the water district, or for representing the water district, or representing the city with the water district. I think Abilene's had an issue with one of their representatives that they're in the same situation that I'm in. When I was appointed, I met all the requirements. I was a city resident, owned property in the city, paid property taxes. But I don't currently live in the city. I still pay city property taxes because I haven't sold my house yet. Anybody else? But so I'm as I interpreted it, at least I'm legal until such time as the city determined they wanted replacement. If this resolution goes through and it is passed by the state legislature, then I would then be legal even though I live outside the city limits. Albany and Anson had the same issues. There's a limited group of people that are willing to serve and to do anything. And if you've got people that are willing, you need to try to figure out a way to keep the chain on them if they're willing to carry the chain.
All right, thank you, Scott. Y'all have any questions for? Pretty well said and done. I ask for a motion on it.
I move to approve resolution supporting legislation allowing WCT MWD board members to live outside the city limits of respective city membership.
Second. Motion and second, all in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Takes care of us, Scott.
Appreciate you taking care of us.
Yes. Most
We're
sure.
trying.
But we understand you're on it because of the money. Is that right?
Oh, yes, it is, it's quite lucrative. I mean, $20 a meeting.
You're up 15 on us.
But we don't have to do it.
Well, and Will is filling two roles tonight, because he's also.
Because he's also the other representative.
Was it $20? You said $20 a meeting?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that would probably get me about to the windmill. And I'd have to turn around again.
All right, item 14, discussion and any necessary action regarding filling planning and zoning board vacancy and approving resolution.
Mayor, Commissioner, so our planning and zoning board consists of 7 members currently, of which 2 are vacant positions. So we have put out onto, our social media and our website, looking for volunteers to, to help out. And so like you said, the third on the board, finding volunteers is not easy, but we did have a volunteer step forward, JB Sparks. I'm sure y'all are familiar with him.
Yeah.
He's been here and spoke many times. He's also a member of the downtown development commission. So he's very involved in the city, and his application is in your packet there. If y'all want to look over that, the resolution is for y'all to approve him. I believe it's the place 4 is the position. It does expire. It's an unexpired position right now. It does expire in February. So he would need to be reappointed as of February, but it would allow him to serve from now until then and then be reappointed. So, and then of course, we still have another position.
Yeah, good. He'll be a good one. No doubt about it. Y'all have any questions? Not have a motion on that.
Do we need to state his name in the motion?
Yes.
Okay,
All right.
I move that we approve JB Sparks to fill the planning and zoning board vacancy as written. Second.
All right, motion is second, all in favor? Aye, none opposed, thank you. Item 14, discuss and any necessary action regarding filling plan. Oh, we got.
Yeah.
I read it. This is the first time I've seen this one tonight. All right. All right. This time, we're gonna go into executive session. And we will all step back there. Y'all stay in here. We'll go back to the back room back there. And we'll go into it at 6:17 p.m.
That's right. Walk down straight, we come back.
Yeah, a little bit, he is the senior member.
Get down, like a man.
Good. So you see, saw you come in, I was like.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
How you fella?
Was always down there.
That's the.
We're all back in here. Okay, reconvene an open session at 6:40 p.m. In accordance with Texas Government Code Section 551, the city commission will reconvene into open session and consider action, if any, on matters discussed in executive session. At this time, there'll be no action taken on the matter. Anything for the next agenda, guys? Nothing. Moment. All right. 41 p.m. We're adjourned. Thank you all.
Doing all right, how about you?
Same.
It ain't good.
Load to get up.
Where you at, Rotate? Where you at?
How you doing?